Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 13, Day number 6. I'm sorry, Miss Martinez, I do not know how to pronounce your first name, so I will just say Miss Martinez, and I hope that you guys will check out the description box below for her social media links, and you guys give her some love with this very fun sketch. It is going to be a Christmas layout. I actually have 3 photos. I'm only going to use 2 because one of them is practically the same photo, just different lighting. I've pulled out my square dies so that I can cut my photos into a diamond shape, and I've pulled out some bits and pieces from my Hip Kit Christmas kits. I have 3 kits all together. I don't have any full pieces of pattern paper left at this point, but I do have a ton of embellishments and branding strips, which are going to be great for this sketch, I hope, at least. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and get started. I'll be right back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out this, it's a texture paste by Vicki Boutin. I think it's from her print shop collection. Anyway, it's called Butterscotch. It looks gold to me, and so it makes a great Christmas texture paste, so because of the gold. And I typically have lots of gold on my Christmas tree. So I'm just kind of spreading a little bit of it on either side, and there's going to be a little bit of a path in the middle, but that's going to be covered up with my photos and photo mats and embellishments, and so that's going to be okay the way it ends up turning out. I'm really happy with the way that this ends up turning out. The next thing that you're going to see me do is I'm going to first put the lid back on this texture paste because I do not want it to dry out. And what you see me wrapping on it is that press and seal wrap that you can buy at Walmart or any other store. So this is the envelope that stencil belongs in. And I'm going to take that stencil with all of that beautiful gold on it, and I'm just going to rub it onto the cardstock that goes in that envelope. And I'm doing that so that I know where it goes in my stash when it's time to put it away. So now I am taking a square of scrap white cardstock, and I'm going to glue all of these strips, or as many of them as I can, onto this white cardstock. Now, I at first was going to try to follow her sketch exactly, and I was just kind of struggling with the strips, and so I decided to kind of put my own spin on it a little bit, and I hope she doesn't mind that I went a little bit rogue here, but I kind of kept her diamond look that she has in the center with this photo mat, and that's what this is going to end up being, is my photo mat. So all I'm doing is I am just gluing down a bunch of the longer pieces of the branding strips that are left over from this Hip Kit Club set of kits that I put in here. I don't have a whole lot of colors, and some of them I only have a partial one. What I'm going to end up with is a 5.5 inch square for a photo mat. So once I get these all glued on to this white cardstock, I will go ahead and off camera trim it down to the 5.5 by 5.5 inch that I mentioned, and then I am going to hand stitch with some gold thread, and I'll show you a picture of just the photo mat by itself with the stitching on. The gold thread is really beautiful in my opinion, but the stitching with gold thread is really hard. You have to kind of pull it as you go and keep it taut so that it stays in the holes each way. So the next thing I am doing here is I am going to use my ATG gun to adhere my photo mat onto my background, and I'm also going to put some glue on the back of it because usually with stitching I glue where the stitches are on the back because that helps it to stay flat onto the layout. And you're going to see at the end of the video, I kind of mentioned that I have to do some extra gluing because it didn't stay flat. So I was really having trouble trying to get those two square photos to be in that slanted position. Every which way I put it, the frog just looked weird. And so I ended up putting them straight. I also decided I didn't like my title on a slant. I thought it kind of looked funny. Maybe I'll try the sketch in its true form another time, but I had already, you know, done so much work for these photos that I wanted to go ahead and finish it. So I'm just going to put my title up there at the top, and there's a phrase that I'm putting at the bottom. She has a subtitle on hers, and so I just used one of the little phrases from the embellishments in this kit. Now I'm going to kind of go through these embellishments pretty quickly, and I'm going to try to find some other bits and pieces because I hadn't really decided what I wanted to do yet. But I did find a tag in the ephemera box that you could just barely see off the side, and I pulled that little bell with a ribbon as well. But now I'm going to pull a whole bunch of smaller embellishments. I really feel like this layout doesn't need a whole lot of embellishing because it will detract from the striped background that I used to map my photos and take away from my pretty gold background. So I'm just going to add a whole bunch of little stars and a couple little hearts on here, and I'm pretty much going to be satisfied with that. So I am moving some of the little stars around because I decided I only wanted to put 2 stars in each of my embellishment cluster. All right, I've got this layout completely finished. I added some splatters off camera to balance out my mixed media a little bit. There, I also added this little ribbon here. I put my title up on foam adhesive, and I put that up on foam adhesive as well. I did glue down the corners of my mat. They're popping up again, so I'm going to have to glue them down and weigh them off camera so that it stays flat. Otherwise, this layout is finished. I want to thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. Please check that playlist below so that you can see what all the other creators are doing with this sketch. This is a great sketch, and I'm kind of excited to see what other people do with it. You have a great day. Bye.